Petua, stay you happy. Welcome to the Mayuteca show on KXSW. Today we are going to be talking about 10 tips for avoiding relapse, basically staying sober during summer. I'm Sierra Walcott. I'm the Domestic Violence Prevention Initiative Case Manager at the SWO Behavioral Health Department, and came up with this topic because, there's a lot of people, you joke around, oh, summer's when breakups happen and, all of that. And, there's some truth to that. It's a hard time to stay sober when you think about going and partying at the lake with your friends or, staying out late in the warm summer breeze. It can be hard. So we have tips for avoiding relapse today. The 10 tips come from therapistaid.com, and I'm going to read through those for you. Number 1, the most important moment before relapse isn't the final decision to use a drug. It's when you decide to expose yourself to triggers. For example, a trigger could be going to a party or walking through the liquor section at the store. Before encountering your triggers, you still have most of the control, not your craving. Number 2, if you're feeling the urge to use, try to wait it out. If you distract yourself for even 30 minutes, it's likely your craving will lessen in intensity. It might not totally disappear, but it will be easier to resist. Number 3, focus on replacing your past drug use with new positive activities. If you used to go home after work and drink, you'll need to make a new plan to occupy yourself. Going home and staring at a wall will eventually lead to staring at a wall with a drink in your hand. This is an important one for summer because, going to the lake, you might think about, partying with your friends. But if you replace that with going to the lake with your family or going to the lake with sober friends, you'll find that it's hopefully just as much fun or even more fun to be with family or sober friends at the lake. Number 4, don't try to do this alone. Sharing your goals for sobriety with a friend makes all the difference. They can hold you accountable when you're making questionable decisions. Like, I'm just going to the bar to hang out, I won't drink. And they can offer a kind ear when you're struggling. Number 5, remind yourself that cravings will pass. Have you ever had that experience when you're sick or you can't remember what it feels like not to be sick? The same thing happens with cravings. Give it time, and believe it or not, the feeling will go away. Number 6, you'll have to make sacrifices beyond giving up the drug. If you previously used during specific activities, for example, watching a game on TV, going to concerts, or spending time with friends, you may need to make changes. This might mean not watching the game or making new friends who are sober. This can be really hard, but that's what makes it a sacrifice. Number 7, have a plan for when things get bad, because at some point they will. People get fired, hearts get broken, and sometimes people leave us forever. Develop a plan to get through these major life changes without use of drugs before they happen. Number 8, don't become complacent with your sobriety. If you someday consider having just a glass of wine with dinner, don't make the decision lightly. If you've struggled with addiction in the past, you are much more likely to develop an addiction again. Number 9, if you do relapse, don't give up. A lot of people find it helpful to keep track of how long they've been sober, but don't confuse this count with the true goal of leading a happy and fulfilling life. If you're at day 100 of sobriety, that's great. However, if you make a mistake and end up back at day 0, know that you are not starting over. You have knowledge, experience, and confidence. In other words, slipping up is not a license to go on a binge. That's a really important one because hopefully, as we all know, relapse happens. And it happens a lot more than you'd want it to. And the important thing is to not feel guilty, to dust yourself off and keep moving forward. Because whether it happens or not, you're in sobriety and you can continue it. Number 10, come up with new rituals. How do you celebrate holidays, promotions, or any other happy occasion? If your answer includes any sort of drug, you'll want to get creative and figure out something new. Go wild with a hobby for the day, treat yourself to a nice dinner, or take a weekend trip. Make sure it's something you can get excited about. Once again, I found these tips at therapistaid.com, so if you want some more information in regards to that, you can reach out to that. You can also contact us at the Behavioral Health Department, which is 698-2106, or the Day Treatment Center, which is also under the department, which is 698-2110. And if you do feel like you're going to relapse, or if you've relapsed and you feel like you can't dust yourself off, the Day Treatment Center also offers evaluation and support. So if you feel the need, you can come in there and get as much support as you need. One of the other things that the Day Treatment program provided to me was the importance of scheduling. So I'm going to read this one off, and I'm going to show you some examples, and I will describe them to you if you're listening on the radio. Scheduling may be a difficult and boring task if you're not used to it. It is, however, an important part of the recovery process. People with substance use disorders do not schedule their time. Scheduling your time will help you achieve and maintain abstinence. Why is scheduling necessary? If you began your recovery in a hospital, you would have the structure of the program and the building to help you stop using. As a person in outpatient treatment, you have to build that structure to help support you as you continue functioning in the world. Your schedule is your structure. Do I need to write down my schedule? Absolutely. Schedules that are in your head are too easily revised. If you write down your schedule while your rational brain is in control and then follow the schedule, you will be doing what you think you should be doing instead of what you feel like doing. What if I am not an organized person? Learn to be organized. I need to pay attention to this one. Buy a schedule book and work with your counselor. Thorough scheduling of your activities is very important to treating your substance use disorder. Remember, your rational brain plans the schedule. If you follow the schedule, you won't use. Your addicted brain wants to be out of control. If you go off the schedule, your addicted brain may be taking you back to using drugs or drinking. Who decides what I schedule? You do. You may consider suggestions made by your counselor or family members, but the final decision is yours. Just be sure you want to do what you wrote down. Follow your schedule. Try not to make any changes. Most people can schedule a 24-hour period and follow it. If you can, you are on your way to gaining control of your life. If you cannot, you may need to consider a higher level of care as a start. So what I am showing now is a daily or hourly schedule. It literally has 7 a.m. all the way to 11 p.m. Obviously, if your day hours are different, you'd have different times on your schedule. It also has an area for notes, and it has an area for reminders. I don't know if you can see that. So if you use one of these every day, theoretically, it will help you to continue on a sober path. Marking progress. It is useful for both you and your counselor to know where you are in the recovery process at all times. Marking a calendar as you go helps in several ways. It's a reminder of how far you've come in your recovery. A feeling of pride often results from seeing the number of days you have been abstinent. Recovery can seem very long unless you can measure your progress in short units of time. Make a mark to record on the calendar pages every day of abstinence you achieve. You may decide to continue the exercise following the program. If you record your abstinent days regularly, this simple procedure will help you and your counselor see your progress. And this just comes with a blank calendar that you can fill in. And when Shobi's Latina is the one that gave this to me, and when she gave it to me, I thought anybody could use this. Like, my kids have chore charts. They get stickers for doing their chores or doing a different task, doing homework. All of us grown-ups could probably use that. So whether you're in recovery or you just have a hard time with scheduling your day because we have so much to do and we're busy, definitely both of these things would be good to utilize. And you can get a copy at the Behavioral Health Department. which is in the old tax office behind Veterans Memorial Youth Center. Or like I said, you could call us at 698-2106. I also wanted to mention the crisis line, because while it's there if you need help during thoughts of suicide or depression or anything like that, you can also call it if you're having, if you feel the possibility of relapse coming on, or for any other need, any other crisis. So that number is 605-419-1036. Well, I hope you find this information helpful, and we'll see you next week at 10 a.m. on Thursday.